So if you're thinking of starting to ride a bike, regardless of what age you are, whether you're in your nearly 50 like I am, or whether you're much younger, it seems like a minefield. If you look at this stuff online, it seems like you need a load of kit, a load of stuff, a load of expensive stuff to get started. But if you're just thinking about starting to ride a bike for the first time, for fun or for a commute to work, you do not need any of it. And there's top 5 things I think that put people off. I'm going to run through those now, and they're all things that you just don't even need at the start of cycling. Number 1 on the list, and probably the one that puts the most people off, is this. The old lycra padded shorts. People think that you have to wear this skin tight stuff to ride a bike, and you just don't. You can, when you're starting out, you can ride in shorts and t-shirt. You don't need anything special. I mean, a helmet, most people would say is advisable. There's a huge debate, but from a point of view of getting started, you don't even need a helmet. I would always say to put a child in a helmet on a child. But as an adult, you don't need any specialist clothing at all. Pair of shorts, t-shirt, and just go. You don't need anything. So that's the number 1 sort of barrier. Everyone tries to picture themselves in this lycra, and you know, unless you're racing or you're seriously concerned about speed and aerodynamics for some other reason, you don't need that stuff. The padded shorts help over a long journey once you get into it, but from the beginning, you don't have to wear that stuff. And even then, you can wear the padded shorts under your normal clothes, so you don't have to commit to the full lycra Tour de France look. So that's number 1. Number 2 is clipless pedal systems. So this terrifies people, because the pedal systems for a lot of mountain bikes and road bikes, don't know if that's going to focus, but the pedal system is it clips in, so it's like a ski binding. You clip into the pedal and your shoe becomes attached to the pedal, and then to unlock you have to sort of pronate your foot in a certain way to unclip, like you do with a set of ski bindings. Again, totally unnecessary. Flat pedals like this, you can just use with trainers or whatever else you want to wear on your feet, sandals, trainers, whatever you like. If it's a barrier between you cycling or not cycling, it doesn't matter, just wear anything. It's the same with the clothes. Whatever you put on your feet, especially as a beginner, a pair of cheap trainers is going to do you just fine on a set of flat pedals, and there's nothing more needed than that. Number 3, anything carbon. So you're going to hear, as you start looking at bikes and parts and things, the word carbon comes up. Oh, carbon bars, carbon saddle, carbon this, that and the other, carbon wheels. Forget it. That's all I'm going to say. Don't even consider it. None of that stuff matters if you're just starting out, and even later on. For most people it doesn't matter, but certainly at the beginning, ignore all the talk of carbon. It's absolutely pointless, and there's no need of it. Number 4 is all the tech stuff that you see. So power meters, computers, power meters, using Strava, all this sort of electronic gears, all that tech stuff. Just forget it. Again, none of it's necessary. Nobody needs any of it. You're just starting out. Literally think of it as you thought of riding a bike when you were a kid. You didn't think about it, did you? You just got on a bike and you just rode with your friends. You're out all day with your mates. You weren't concerned about that kind of thing. That's the way to look at it at the beginning. You don't start out as if you're trying to emulate a pro. And for most people, you never get to the point where you're trying to emulate a pro, because that cycling isn't just that head down lycra Tour de France. Look how pro I am. It can be any bike in any clothing, and this puts so many people off because they think they've got to go down that whole sort of pro kit level look. And then number 5 is the bike. No one, someone said to me the other day that they fancied getting into cycling for a while, but they haven't got £1,500 to spend on an entry-level bike. You don't need to spend that kind of money. If you're just starting cycling, you're not going to know what type of bike you want. You're not going to know what type of bike you need, how far you're going to ride. Just get your dad's or your granddad's or anyone's old 90s mountain bike out of the shed. Those bikes are incredibly usable still. With gravel cycling being popular at the moment, those bikes fit in so well with the type of riding people are doing these days. So go and grab, if you haven't got an old 90s mountain bike in your dad's shed, you can pick them up so cheap. You can pick them up for 50 quid or less. And it'll get you going, it'll get you started, and for some people they'll stay with that bike. You don't have to constantly be aspiring, oh, this is the bike I'm having until the carbon bike, or until. There's no need for that. Just find a cheap bike that'll do what you want it to do, and in most cases a 90s mountain bike is going to be that bike, because that'll do a bit of road riding, a bit of sort of what they call gravel riding. If you want to go in the mud, you can go in the mud, and you can explore a little bit, you know, and they're so cheap, and you can do things to them to personalize them as you go on to more suit the type of riding that you do. But this block on people starting to ride a bike is, oh, I haven't got £1,500, £2,000. And if you look online, beginner bikes, that's the price range of bikes that comes up. You know, all these kind of top 10 beginner bikes, it's all like £1,000 up, and people just haven't got that kind of money. So yeah, look at the 50 quid bikes, the second-hand bikes. It'll get you started, and this is why I do what I do with free bikes for kids. It's mostly kids bikes, but I do also get a lot of adults on bikes as well, because you know it can be daunting. It looks like it's something that's a huge investment to get into, and it really doesn't have to be. You can just start with the very basics, and some people only ever need the very basics. It's not a journey to the Tour de France. It's not a journey to a carbon road bike. Some people will never ride a drop bar bike in their lives because it's not suited to the type of riding they do. So yeah, don't let these things stand in your way. Just t-shirt, shorts, pair of trainers, flat pedals, any old bike, and just give it a go and see where you go from there. If I can help with advice, let me know in the comments down below, like you always do. But yeah, just go for it.